In this video, we will analyze how the increased UK pressure is affecting the Russians. Here, the English Channel has long been seen as a stable artery of European trade, a heavily traveled stretch of water where commercial traffic and routine movement have traditionally outweighed concerns about military confrontation. That sense of distance became harder to maintain after reports emerged that a Russian warship fired shots at a British vessel, bringing the confrontation closer to Britain's own shores. According to reports, the incident unfolded in the English Channel under poor visibility conditions, where a UK motorless yacht was reportedly drifting in heavy fog near a Russian naval vessel. The yacht was said to be without propulsion and gradually moving toward the Russian ship's position as distance between the two vessels narrowed. Reports claim the Russian frigate treated the approach as a potential security risk and moved to react before the situation developed further. Warning shots were reportedly fired as the Russian crew attempted to force the vessel away and establish a security perimeter around the warship. Such shots are generally intended as a signal rather than a direct attack, serving as a warning that a vessel is entering an area considered restricted or dangerous. Even so, the sound of live naval gunfire carries a different meaning because it marks a point where a tense encounter moves beyond radio calls and visual warnings. No major casualties were immediately reported, but the incident transformed a routine maritime passage into a far more serious confrontation. The presence of a Russian frigate in the English Channel immediately raised a broader question because Russian warships do not routinely appear there without a purpose. The most likely explanation points toward the growing importance of Russia's so-called shadow fleet, a network of tankers and commercial vessels used to move Russian oil and other cargo under sanctions pressure. These ships have become strategically important because they help sustain revenue flows despite Western restrictions. As scrutiny of those vessels has increased, reports have also pointed to more visible Russian naval activity around routes used by shadow fleet traffic. A warship operating near these movements can serve as an escort vessel, monitoring nearby activity and providing a visible layer of protection for tankers that Moscow increasingly appears to view as strategically important assets. The reports become more significant when placed alongside claims that UK Royal Marines had boarded a Russian-linked shadow fleet tanker only 1 or 2 days earlier in the English Channel. If accurate, such an operation would likely have been viewed in Moscow as more than a routine maritime action. From a Russian perspective, direct interference with vessels connected to the shadow fleet could be interpreted as pressure against an increasingly important economic lifeline. Unlike sanctions imposed through legal and financial measures, physically boarding a vessel can be seen as a direct intervention against the mechanism itself rather than against the system surrounding it. That context may help explain why a Russian warship operating in the area appeared to adopt a more aggressive security posture. In the last months, the United Kingdom has been increasing pressure on Russian-linked shadow fleet activity through sanctions and inspections designed to disrupt or detain vessels operating around its waters. Each new measure places additional strain on an already contested maritime space. At the same time, the reported warning shots suggest that Russia may be prepared to react forcefully when it believes assets connected to the shadow fleet are under threat. That combination creates a more dangerous environment because legal and economic pressure can begin colliding with military responses. Escalation often develops through a chain of smaller incidents rather than through one deliberate decision. Overall, the significance of these developments extends beyond a single maritime confrontation because they point toward a changing security environment around Britain itself. The shadow fleet is no longer only an economic tool for Russia because it is also becoming an asset Moscow appears willing to protect more actively. Britain therefore faces a situation in which the harder it increases pressure against Russian-linked maritime activity, the greater the chance that friction and risk will be pulled closer toward its own shores.